Freedom for me is spending my time doing for others. What am I doing here if I'm not giving? I had received a breast cancer diagnosis in 2016 and prognosis wasn't good. But then I thought to myself, I'm actually still waking up every day. Got my house where I wanted. I've got my beautiful garden. The tree keeps blooming every year. And so in my head, I want to disrupt the loss and grief that comes with breast cancer. Now I've got to do something about it.
Today, we are here with the amazing Vivian Crick.
Hello.
Welcome to the episode.
Thank you.
And we're talking all things your life, your journey, what led you to doing what you're doing today, and we'll get into that in a moment for the people that are watching. So before we dive into talking about your business, let's talk about what your life looked like before starting this journey. Let's give us a rundown.
Of my life.
Yeah. What were you doing before what you're doing now?
Before starting this business, I was at home and living life. I had received a breast cancer diagnosis in 2016 and I'd been told to go and live my bucket list. And the prognosis wasn't good. And at 44, I didn't really have the bucket list. So I went off and I did what the medical fraternity told me to do and tried to figure out what life should be like. So marriage broke down and I went and renovated a cottage. And while I was doing that, I realised that I still had a lot of purpose in me and that life had meaning and I needed to give, and I wasn't doing that. It felt very insular and isolating, and so I wanted to break that kind of a living cycle for others, and that was the point where I thought I've got to go back into business.
Can you remember the sort of exact moment that you sort of realised that this can't be it? Like, what was that crux? Because I think for a lot of people, myself included, we almost, I still vividly remember when I quit corporate, staring at a blank piece of paper and typing into Google, how do I work from home?
Yeah.
What can I do that means I don't have to go into a corporate office anymore? So what was that moment for you?
I vividly recall where I was in my house. It was right at the end of the house, big picture window looking out on a beautiful rain tree that had just come into bloom. I had been doing some little bits of consulting work to family businesses and I loved that. So I stepped out of my office, looked out the window and my garden, and there was a contentment about it. But then I thought to myself, I'm actually still waking up every day. I've got my house where I wanted. I've got my beautiful garden. The tree keeps blooming every year. I've lived beyond and I wanted to disrupt that. And so in my head, I said, I want to disrupt the loss and grief that comes with breast cancer. Now I've got to do something about it. And I picked up the phone and I went back into studying coaching. Using my occupational therapy, I thought, no, I'm not doing that professionally anymore. I'm going into coaching, and that's when I realised I needed help.
I really love the metaphor that you bring up about the tree blooming year after year and you were looking at that content, but it was almost like you felt you needed to bloom yourself. Would you,
Yes.
Yeah.
I had more to give, and I felt as though I was stagnant. And it was such a waste of life for me. And that was the penny drop moment for me. What am I doing here if I'm not giving?
So what shifted for you in terms of what you're doing now? And it'd be great to, tell everybody listening what it is that you're creating for yourself now. What was that point that you stopped seeing yourself as that service provider? And really started thinking like a business owner? What shifted?
I think for me it was something that happened at that time. I have been a service provider and I knew that wasn't going to create the ripples that I wanted to create in the world because breast cancer is so prevalent. And it's just me. And just me can't do it all by myself.
In terms of your business.
In terms of my business.
Yeah.
And so when I decided that I needed to do something, business was the first thing that entered my mind is I've got to do business.
And what
if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Was there a breaking point or a moment of clarity or something that kind of brought you to that?
I spoke to you.
Tell us more. Yeah.
I knew where my weaknesses were. I knew what I didn't know. I was very confident in the skills that I had. And so when I started the journey of studying again, I picked up the phone and spoke to you at the same time and said, I need help to structure this and bring in the elements that I don't know about in business so that it will be successful.
Well, I mean, look, we talk a lot about work-life balance and how, especially with your diagnosis and your journey and the fact that, doctors essentially said you weren't supposed to be on the planet anymore.
Yeah.
What do you feel creates that balance for you now? So building a business, obviously not, doing full-time work, OT work anymore.
Yeah.
What are you seeking in terms of balance? Because I think a lot of people think about work-life balance the wrong way.
I think it is being very clear about what it is you want to do and setting those parameters for yourself, really setting the boundaries. I spent a bit of time, as you know, chasing the sparkly, shiny things because I could, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. I can try that. But that just became busy for me.
And what do you think creates that surge? So, again, shiny new thing syndrome, everyone talks about it, but rarely do people actually move on from it.
Yeah. And
so what do you think was creating that wanting to jump to and fro?
For me, it was, I think, two things, actually. I think one is that I'm a naturally curious person. The whole idea of being curious is great, but knowing where to put that curiosity, I think, is a really powerful thing.
Yes.
And structure helps you with that.
Yes. Yeah, because I think that fear of failure that you brought up almost drives people to look for the shiny new things.
Yes.
Like what's the thing that's just going to be that 2% better, that 3% better? Am I going in the right direction? And, we see this time and time again, and you've seen this, we've talked about this as well, where people are like almost there.
Yes.
With the strategy that they're working on.
Yes.
The doubt or fear or the next shiny new thing gets in the way, which holds them back from actually moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've learned and what I've observed while I've been working with you is that you learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
And, when I started, I've got a very, very strong purpose and I know what I want to achieve and I know that I can.
What is that purpose?
I want to disrupt the loss and grief that comes with a breast cancer diagnosis for women and their families and communities. And so that's very, very strong. I think sometimes when you realize that there is a really strong purpose, but you're not inclined to put yourself out there, that it's easier to minimize yourself in the public sphere rather than
do the busy admin work. Right?
Do the busy, and then wonder why you're not stepping forward.
Which is really interesting because we do so much preparation, but really all we need to be doing is reaching out to people and building a brand and growing authority and networking, and you can have people with the most fantastic preparation that never get it off the ground. Yes. And then you have people that are just great talkers and networkers. Yes. That can build a business from nothing. Yes. Because they've got that networking, ability.
And I think realizing that there are a lot of moving parts to this is very important in the get-go.
Mm.
And I knew that there were some moving parts that weren't moving for me.
Yep.
So I went, help. I need help.
So let's explore what you're working on now. So what are those moving parts that are allowing you to scale while looking after your health? So you're writing a book at the moment.
I am writing a book at the moment.
Yeah. What else is going on?
I'm also looking at helping those in the research area communicate and learn how best to support others. So, clinicians and researchers as well. So that's a bit more behind the scenes sort of work. And it's also, writing the book for me gives me a breather, but it also serves the purpose that it gets out to more people.
Yeah, it's that impact piece.
In a way, but it also allows me to go back to some of the other stuff that I love to do as well. So,
such as?
Well, I'm doing a lot of coaching in the workplace at the moment, really getting into workplaces and helping people become a little bit more resilient and understand how they can interact with others. So the theory or the framework that I developed for the breast cancer community is called BRACE. It's a 5-step framework that enables you to create some scaffolding around you and your life and your community, even though you get the impact of some kind of challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm extrapolating that framework and applying it in other ways, so in workplaces. And
which must be beautiful for people that, the diagnosis of cancer is one thing, but then the impact that has on the person, the family, the co-workers, like it's, something that I never really thought about until I spoke to you about it.
Yeah. And it's more than one person you can help.
Yeah.
To essentially, you talk about it, we need a village, to raise a child. We need a village to help people through challenge, and we need to educate people around as to how to support.
Yeah.
Because I think we've lost the art of that. And if we can help people lean in and have them know how to lean in, then we're all going to lift and we're all going to get to a point where we've got resilience. We can problem solve and we can help each other.
Yeah. What's been most challenging for you on this journey?
I think for me, the hardest thing is the knockbacks. Because I've got such a great idea.
Yeah.
And that's not an emotional thing. I think it is that I have had to pivot a number of times and still stay true to what I want to achieve. And that perseverance is hard work.
Yeah.
And that belief in yourself and what you're doing is hard work.
Definitely.
I think. I spread myself too thin and I try and do everything. And asking for help is something that I'm learning to do.
Yeah. And
in business, you can't do it on your own. So that has been a hard lesson for me, and I think it's a lesson that continues to give. So, help.
How has that supported you to grow though? So, it's something that we talk about a lot. Richard Branson always says, successful people don't do it alone.
Yeah.
How has that supported you to get to where you are and learn what you've learned?
Look, I have learned more about myself in the last couple of years than I have throughout my professional career. I've been honest with myself so that I can be clear in business what I need to do and how I need to do it. So the support for getting clarity on that has been incredible for me.
What message would you give people? So for those people, a lot of our audience will be listening to this in a full-time job, doing what most people do, which is staying in a 9 to 5. Some might enjoy it, but they've always got that curiosity about what if.
Yes.
What did you wish you knew back then that you know now? What would you share with them?
I would say to expect the roller coaster. Life it's not linear. I would say there are ups and downs, but they're the things that help propel you forward, because there are lessons in when you go into a dip, and it helps you become better so that the highs are greater, and to understand that you get there faster if you progress like that, rather than have these high expectations that tomorrow it's going to happen. You know, reflection is a really good thing, and realizing that you are evolving and growing every day, even though it might be a hard day, but the sun will come up tomorrow.
It's really interesting because, you know, even in my own journey, like I notice, you know, with where we're at, you know, the impact that we're making in the world, you know, how the business has grown over 7 years.
Yeah.
There's always those low moments. And I've kind of started to notice a pattern that personal development is actually what pulls the business forward.
Yes.
So when you're willing to grow as a human, it allows your business to blossom and evolve and take that next level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that business isn't personal, but it is.
It is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're building the foundations, you're building the structures, you're putting in place what you need to put in place, which is what I have learned from you. And I've been building the foundation of how I am personally growing as a business person, as a person. And it gives me real a clear view of where I'm going.
What's a tool that you could share that's really helped you move forward, whether it's mindset, business strategy, like what's something that's helped you move forward?
Probably doing the do, which is really understanding what those steps are and doing them over and over again. And the big thing for me is you've made a decision because somewhere in the past you have thought that there's a possibility of the can.
Yeah.
And so there's your confidence. And so your decision has been made. All you need to do is wake up each day and choose how you're going to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. Do more.
And do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then just do it. And I've seen it time and time again with people who have worked with you who start to question themselves, and maybe, you know, the imposter syndrome creeps in.
Yeah. Or they finally admit they've got it.
Or right.
It's been there the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, oh, okay, well, I just do it.
Yeah.
And so the structure is there to support.
Yeah. 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 And it's interesting. I mean, with all the businesses that we talk about, talk to, you know, people are always looking for different strategies, the shiny new thing.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm working on this and I've got, you know, some one-on-one clients, but now I want to run group coaching programs, and they kind of almost pivot too quickly when they could just be getting more clients to grow their business.
Yes.
And unless they realize, you know, hey, you know, yes, you know, I've got 10, 15 clients a week. I want to pivot straight away. I'm not enjoying this. I think a lot of people do it too early. And we always talk about multiple revenue streams and how that can support you to grow. And you see it time and time again in, you know, multi-million-dollar businesses, the big wigs. They're all, you know, there's online courses, there's, you know, products, there's, you know, a whole bunch of stuff that they're playing with. What do you feel is the right time for you to step up from that space, to add more?
As soon as you realise. I think, you know, I think you're absolutely right. You know, you get to it's like a 3/4 rule, you know, where you've lost sight of the beginning and you can't quite see the end.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
You know, it's time and time again, it's 3/4 of the way through a year or whatever, you know, or your public holidays have been happening, but you can't quite see Christmas and it's dark. And, you know, whether it's at 75% or 80% or 90%, that's when people will say, no, it's not going to work. And they stop or they change or whatever, rather than just breathing in what's happening.
Just do that extra 5%.
And trust the process.
Yeah.
You know, just trust the process, because when your feet are in the air, all you've got is the process to trust until you get to the other side and land. And I think that fear comes in, whatever that fear is, and it screams in your head, no, you can't do this. When in actual fact you're about to break through.
Yeah, yeah. When you picture freedom, because I think it looks different for a lot of people.
Yeah.
What does freedom look like for you?
Freedom for me is choice.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom for me is spending my time doing for others.
Mm.
So for me, what I'm doing in work and business is my joy and travel.
Of course.
But choice. I think it's choice. And I also think that freedom, you mentioned the different revenue streams. Freedom is also realizing that you've got something working really well, or you've landed on the way that it's going to work for this. Now there's opportunity to do something
which I mean ties into the impact that you're trying to make on the people that you're working with as well, right?
Correct.
So freedom is actually a really important part of your business.
Yeah, and if I don't set the example for thriving while living with some form of diagnosis or challenge or whatever it is, then it's all for naught, really. So, live and breathe and look after others. That's freedom for me.
And your lived experience going on that journey yourself, how does that support you to connect with the people that you're working with?
Lived experience is really important, I think, because you can bypass that. It's a trust thing. It's almost an instantaneous trust thing. You've walked in my shoes somehow, might be a different size, but you've walked my path a little bit and you understand. So there's an empathy, an acceptance of the empathy that comes easier than if someone doesn't really understand.
Is there a moment that you felt that when you were going through treatment, you're still going through treatment, but earlier in the days, like, was there a moment that you felt that connection with someone that was there for you, for support, for?
I found very early on in my treatment that alone was a word I used a lot. And I really deeply felt when I was looking out of that picture window to the tree that there wasn't a lot of support there for me. And I didn't want anyone really to experience that. What I will say is that in the last couple of years, particularly as I've technically re-entered life by doing, the support has been more than I've probably ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, okay.
And so the care and empathy and curiosity and understanding that I've received in the last few years has just been incredible for me. And I would suggest that that's one of the reasons I'm still here.
Have people changed or have you changed?
I think it's a bit of both. I think I decide who I spend time with. I think I choose my tribe, I guess, in a way that is more congruent with who I actually am. And the growth that I've had across time has enabled me to be honest about who those people are. And I suspect that's why I'm feeling so much support in this part of my life than any time before.
What's been one of your biggest wins on the journey?
Well, I'm still here.
And we're very happy about that.
I think one of my biggest wins is that I'm achieving. I'm step-by-step achieving. I like to achieve fast, but I realise that, slow movement is okay. But the biggest win for me is that I have a community that I love, and it wakes me up every day and it gives me joy every day, and that is life winning for me.
Yeah. So what kind of legacy are you building now?
The legacy, this is one of those self-minimizing moments.
Blow it up. Let's do it right here, right now, for everyone that's listening, for yourself, most importantly.
I think that I'm here for a reason. I have experienced life in the way that I have for reasons, and I don't need to know why. But the lessons that I've learned along the way, I'm glad that I've learned them
Mm.
so that I can help others live in a way where they are, lifted and thinking about how they can get by and how they can live life. And the legacy is, for me, choice.
Mm.
And particularly in the breast cancer community, where you can identify yourself by your illness, you can stop life, you can do a woe is me moment instead of looking at the disruption that you can consciously create to make your life and everyone around you, their life better.
Yeah, yeah. Before we wrap up, I want to do some rapid fire.
Oh, I'm so scared.
So I want to throw some things at you.
Okay.
And just what comes up for you, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
Okay.
Cool.
That they're not good enough.
What's a tool or a strategy that you'd never go without again?
Working with someone else.
Mm.
Teaming up.
Yeah. One myth about freedom-based business that you wish you'd stopped believing?
That it's easy.
Mm. And one thing that you'd say to the version of you just starting out?
Do it. Absolutely do it and believe it and keep going.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, right? Because we say, we think that freedom-based business comes with being easy. It does over time. It gets easier.
Yes.
But you've got to put the work in to get the result.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think, I know we're wrapping up, but you spoke about the 9 to 5 and you've got people who are transitioning from one type of lifestyle to another. And it touches on all sorts of things like, finances and skills and self-belief and, consideration about the family and all of that. And all of that all at once is hard.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where if you've got clarity and you've got support, you can get there and make the decisions for transition at the times that are going to be the best for you.
Yeah. We all feel because we're stepping out of the norm that we have to do it on our own.
Right.
Because our immediate circle hasn't done it before.
That's right.
But it doesn't mean that there aren't people out there that can support you and show you the steps and help you make it happen faster.
And the thing is, the people who are closest to you want you to succeed, but it's out of fear that they say don't do it.
Yeah. Fear in themselves.
Correct.
Yeah. Which is a good segue. Because this would be that next step for people. So for those of you that are, working full time, wanting to escape, wondering what is next, wanting to build that freedom-based business but not sure where to start.
Yes.
Build Excite Ignite is a fantastic place to start. And Amazon, Booktopia, wherever you find your best-selling novels.
And it is the resource that you keep beside you and return to. When you've got a question, you go and you have a look and you get some guidance. Yeah. So
I think it was partly it was what I wanted the book to be, and what I spoke to the publishers about is that it needed to be a coach in a novel.
Yes.
To support you with actionable steps, scribble in the worksheets, all that sort of thing to get moving. For people that want to connect with you, Viv, with your journey and what you're doing, where can they go?
It's called Viv's Place, actually. So I'm on the socials and viviancrick.com.
Cool.
And that's me.
Wonderful. Awesome. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me along.
It's been fun.
It has.
And great to dive in deeper on what you're doing and where you're going, and hopefully your story inspires someone to take that step with their life.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so, because a lot of people have a lot to give. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.